The words, again, Haman's words were seducing the king. It was his words, it was his ways. He was able to get in there and be second in command. And this guy's clueless. Okay? They are pretty clueless, people in the world, about how this is operating among them. They're so clueless. That's why you, the chosen, you can walk into a situation here and discern that and go, oh my goodness. And they look at you like, what? Because you are now in a position to discern the realms. It's part of being a star. If you can't discern it, you're not going to know how to kill it. You're not going to know how to help them. Helpmeet means discerner of evil. That's what Eve's job was. So we have this Haman rising up. And he's in a strategic position. Sound familiar? He's in a strategic position in your marriage. You want to discern it. Is it happening in you? You want to go low. Lord, what am I doing that's activating Haman? It's where humility comes in. Mordecai refuses to bow. Mordecai, he knows what this is. He's got the history. He knows what he's dealing with. He is not codependent. It doesn't matter how many people come up to him and say, but the king says, you've got to bow to this. The world says we've got to bow to this. Be a Mordecai. Stand steady, stand your ground, don't move. He was determined. He didn't care if it took him out. Because that's what all the mumblers and grumblers were saying. That's the king's command. Yeah, seduced by this, okay? So Mordecai is also ready to sacrifice himself, to not compromise, to bow to evil. And why should Mordecai? Jesus didn't bow to Satan out there in the wilderness. So that's why I kind of like Mordecai as a redeemer. I see a Christ figure rising up here. Oh boy, who gets mad? Haman gets really vexed. Nothing makes him happy because he just wants to see him dead. Sounds like similar spirit that was happening when Christ was on the planet here, working through his purpose. Satan wants to kill you, destroy you, and wipe you off the face of the planet. He wasn't just mad at Mordecai. He wanted to go after everything Mordecai loved. That's his family, his people. He's not playing fair, and he never, never will. And he puts it down on paper. So don't forget this edict. It applies today. You don't think that he's not going to mess with you? Read the edict. He's messing with you. He wants to take you out. And he doesn't tell the king who it is. You read this edict, the Jew is not mentioned in there, not once. That's weird. Because if the king had knew it was a Jew, he might have went, no, those people, they're not bothering me. I actually like them. This is where Mordecai now says, I'm a Jew. That's why I'm not bowing. This is where he starts saying who he is and won't. He's not hiding it, or he strategically was hiding it for a while, but now he's not. So the fourth season, maybe we're going to, be quiet, but that's not always going to be that way. And not only does he's not quiet, but then he really goes after Esther. You can't be quiet. This is the time. You got to stand up and be who you are and state what you need to state. We've got a big problem here. Big one. So, this edict is put out the day before Passover. On the 14th day in Nisan is Passover, and on the 13th day, the edict was pounding on the non-telephone poles, whatever they used. Whoa. Now we know that the Jewish people, even in exile, they remembered and kept a lot of their holidays, and the Passover would have been one of their big ones.
Actually, it was the month before Nisan. It's the month of Adar.
No, I know. I mean, when the edict went out.
No, it was the day before Passover, right?
Yes, but the time of the destruction of the Jews was going to be 11 months from the point the edict went out, which is the month of Adar.
And interestingly, this Saturday is the 13th day of Adar. Mm-hmm. The Jews celebrate the holiday on the day they were supposed to be destroyed. Mm-hmm. To this day, they still do. And the Christians celebrate their holiday on the day that Jesus was to be destroyed.
This is a really interesting point, that Passover is you get that news on Passover, and what are you going to do? You're going to activate your faith. You're going to keep Passover. You're going to remember what God did. You're going to eat that sacrificial lamb. You're going to remember that you're not a slave anymore, that God will deliver you, and that's what they were doing. So that's where you activate your faith in the midst of absolutely, I mean, this was a death sentence. This was genocide.
And it gave Hitler the directions of what to do to cleanse the world, kill them all. And he did kill half of the Jews in the world. I don't know that very many people know. He did kill 50% of world Jewry. 60 million? 61 million? No, we're talking about just the Jews. He says 61 million. I don't. 6 million. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
This edict is out on you. This is the same edict Satan has out on you. And the world's clueless. But you are not. And it's being spread all over the place. People don't even know who these people are. They're like, who are these people? We're supposed to be afraid of some people that are anti-world. And the people who aren't Jewish are getting really confused. They don't know. They don't really have a clue what's going on. But they're gonna want to follow the king, so they're probably getting ready to wipe out people that are their neighbors. That's how fast it changes, people. That's how fast it can happen. I was talking to Jeremy from Burundi. Man, it's just a boom, boom, boom overnight. There's war, there's chaos, there's dead bodies in the street. And Haman was bribing the king to do it because he knew the king would have a great loss. He didn't tell the king who he's going to take out. But he says, I'll put blah, 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 blah into the treasury to make sure that any of your losses are covered. He's willing to pay for it. It's kind of scary. Should be, but I'm not scared because we've got a bigger God. So now we have Mordecai gets this information. And if you want to overcome this edict, you got to go to war. And if you want to go to war, then you better pray. I have a picture of sackcloth and ashes. You got it? I think I have a couple of them. Now we're having a dress change.